Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Coco and the Sun podcast. I am Malika. Um, and today we're just going to continue again with chapter 8 of Bringers of the Dawn. And yeah, I was trying to see again, like I like to think of anything I can. Oh, remember. So I remembered this last night, and the foreword of this book. The editor, is it the editor? Is it the preface? Hold on. The preface. They mention how to make things come to fruition, I believe. Is it the preface? No. I'll find that down. Oh my goodness. I read it last night. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Okay. It's in the foreword. Sorry, my nose was itchy. Okay, so they had said in the foreword, I think they were talking to the editor of the book. It says, it is through clear intention, through acting as if and simply receiving continuously that you create what you want. That seems so easy. And I don't know, I think maybe we might be complicating it. All these other things we do. They said, it is the beginning of receiving direct guidance on how to do things. The more you say, I relinquish control, I don't know how to do this, the more energy will come in. As you get out of your own way, it will become easier and easier. All you need to do is intend. The more intending you do, the easier it will become. And then that's why I said, it is through clear intention, through acting as if, and simply receiving continuously. So I think that's a really simple way of saying how to do it. Maybe I read that last night. I thought that was kind of interesting. Now I don't know where I put the highlighter there. Sorry. I thought I lost the highlighter. So yes, and the only other thing I got last night too was that being in this space, like if you're in this space of leaving the old behind and creating the new that you want in your life, it's a little bit of an awkward space between believing and trusting, but also not knowing if if it's really true all in your head. So I got that. That's a beautiful space to be in, even in that sure, unsure um space of you growing into your new certainty of how the universe works or how energy works or how things happen for you, right? From major efforting instead of inspired action or listening to your heart and just doing what's best or what brings you most joy and just letting it float, you know, going to that from no, I have to pay bills and this job pays the bills or this person they're fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but your heart don't sing for them. You don't have that feeling for them. So stuff like that. Even in that space of moving from one to the other, that little distance, that journey is even a beautiful space to be in because it's the space where magic happens. Yeah. I'm sorry. So it's the space where magic happens. And where you first start to believe, where you first start to see little signs, where you start trusting and hoping and believing and start knowing and surrendering, and then things start to happen. So that's a beautiful space to be in. So that's what I got last night. All aspects of it is beautiful, I guess. That's what it's really trying to say, even though it feels scary. So that's what I got. Okay. So we're going to start with chapter 8, Bringers of the Dawn by Barbara Marciniak, outside the ultimate tyranny. Let me put my glasses on because it already looks fuzzy. I guess I like reading in the afternoons. I haven't done it in the morning. I think I like in the morning too, like when you know what? I did one morning when I was having coffee and I like it. I didn't do it again. Most times I do it like in the afternoon. So I think I will try that the next time I do a podcast. I will like try to yeah, when I'm having my morning coffee. That might be nice. A nice little time. Okay, let's see how big this chapter is. Oh, the chapters don't seem that big. Oh, how much I have to read here. Okay. Outside the ultimate tyranny. I have my little coconut water. I went to the Jamaican store today and I got me some brown stew chicken and rice and some red pea soup and some Jamaican pie. I will treat myself today or it's Friday. And I got some coconut water. So super happy, super happy, you know. Anyways, outside the ultimate tyranny, we shall begin. The ultimate tyranny in a society is not controlled by martial law. It is controlled by the psychological manipulation of consciousness through which reality is defined so that those who exist within it do not even realize that they are in prison. They do not even realize that there is something outside of where they exist. We represent what is outside of what you have been taught exists. It is where you sometimes venture and where we want you to dwell. It is outside of where society has told you you can live. You have been controlled like sheep in a pen by those who think they own you, from the government to the world management team to those in space. You have been deprived of knowledge by frequency control. Think of frequency as individual broadcasting and receiving through which you dial into the station of your choice. It is the broadcasting of carrier waves of intelligence. The range of frequency is unlimited, and the range of intelligent matter transmitted is unlimited. Frequency control limits the number of stations you can tune into. As members of the family of light, you must anchor your frequencies through static chaos and bring them into the physical realm. That's the hard part I find, like bring it into the physical realm. But if they say all you have to do is intend and relinquish control of how it happens, it technically should be easy. I think the hard part is relinquishing control and not trying to figure out how to make it happen. Anyway, it is the broadcasting of carrier waves of intelligence. Oh, sorry. Frequency control limits the number of stations you can tune into. As members of the family of light, you must anchor new frequencies through static chaos and bring them into the physical realm. The range of accessibility on this planet to a variety of frequencies has been very minimal for a long time because of many things that you most desperately need to become aware of. As you learn about your own personal history and discover patterns of ineffectual behavior that you must break and change, the planet pulses through its own patterns of behavior. You are about to repeat history as a planet in a most dramatic way. You have come to alter and remove the frequency of limitation and bring in the frequency of information. When you are informed, you move beyond the need to be in fear. When you feel uninformed and out of control, you do not understand the bigger picture. Each of you came to awaken something inside yourself, inside the coding of your being, the DNA, and you are responding to it. This is why you are on a search in all directions of your life. You and multitudes of others have begun the mutation process on the planet. As you mutate electromagnetically, you alter your frequency or the tune that you broadcast. You will eventually outgrow the frequency that holds you down and continually blasts you with chaos and confusion. Eventually, when you alter, carry, and maintain your own frequency, you will vibrate differently and thus affect everyone around you. They will feel the availability of this frequency alteration, which will then move like a wave around the planet. As the planet accepts this new frequency that you have worked very hard to obtain, those at the end of the domino chain will receive it. This new frequency is called knowledge, light, and information. This new frequency is called knowledge, light, and information. It is called being taken out of bondage. You are being taken out of disinformation and misinformation, and you are becoming informed. You are coming into light. Sitting with this, because I know, like, you know what I got today as I was driving? We have to step out of the duality, but doesn't mean we have to be unfeeling towards it. I'll give an example. Like, in regards to there being a war somewhere, you can see it being a collective response where the collective needs to look at itself as in how it operates as both sides in their own lives, right? Each person individually look at how they have been the aggressor and how they have been the one that's aggressed upon in different times or aspects of their life in order to understand it and forgive it in themselves and love it in themselves. And while they are able to understand why certain things are happening, they can also still be sad about it happening and have feelings about it happening and wish for there to be love and forgiveness and transmutation of what's happening at a collective level. So I think it's not to me anyway, I got this today as I was driving. It's not to essentially not feel anything and dismiss it, but to actually understand it on a personal level and you could still feel sad or hurt or, want it to be different. Yeah. Your heart could still be broken by it. It's like if you had your first heartbreak and you understand what happened, and then your child is going through a heartbreak, you still feel for them, but you know why it happens on both sides. It has to do with youth and not knowing what you want, wanting to please others, all these different things, changing your mind about what you want, being susceptible to others' feelings, dramas, and all of these things play into heartbreak, right? And you as the mom, and you're seeing your child going through it, can help them get through it because you've been through it and you understand it. It doesn't mean you feel less about it, but you have a higher perspective of it. And, a better understanding of it. Still sad though. And you still feel for them and you still want to have them get through it and you wish they didn't have to have that happen and stuff. Kind of like, I think that's what it is, to not be in duality, but still be able to feel, to still be able to feel. Yeah. Still be sad or want it to be different without judgment. It's a judgment that needs to be removed, which that happens through understanding of yourself and not judging yourself, then extends to others. Anyways, I digress. I'm drinking my coconut water. Coconut water is my favorite thing to drink. My second favorite thing to drink is Coca-Cola. And I know Coca-Cola is not healthy, but I love Coca-Cola. My third favorite thing to drink is lemonade. Lemonade, lemonade, lemonade. And then my fourth favorite thing to drink is red soda. Like they have something called Milkas here, but in Trinidad we have like red solo. Anyway, I don't even know why I told you all that. The coconut water tastes real good. Fresh, you know? It is called being taken out of bondage. You're being taken out of disinformation, misinformation, and you're becoming informed and you're coming into light. As each of you has been assigned to become informed and to bring about a frequency alteration on this planet, you must learn to become keepers of frequency. You must rise to a certain place of knowledge and consistently stay there. You must become in command of your body so that you can will it to into stillness or into activity. You must be able to go inside yourself and heal what needs to be healed emotionally and physically. You must begin to start. You must be able, I am sorry. You must begin to part the jungle of self and find the clearing so that you can show others the way. Sometimes you will show others the way, not by speaking to them, but just by maintaining, living, and working on your own frequency and having the courage to do this. As systems busters and potential keepers of frequency, you will obviously go into the areas where your specialties are most needed. Many of the beings who have incarnated as members of the family alike came to the United States because this is the land where you can make the most progress. This is also this also happens to be a land where denial is pervasive. You believe that you live in the land of the free and the home of the brave, yet you live in the most controlled experimental society on the planet. The tyranny that has been set up here is rather interesting because it is a tyranny without walls. As a country and a collective consciousness, the United States still has not reached an awareness that something is not right. The environment of the United States is actually much more controlled than that of the former Soviet Union, where the control was obvious. Because everyone is so frightened of giving up the system in the United States, they are going to be forced to give it up. The system is corrupt, it does not work, it does not honor life, and it does not honor Earth. That is the bottom line. If something does not honor life and does not honor Earth, you can bet it is going to fall, and it's going to fall big time. Consciousness must change. This is part of the divine plan, and this opportunity and setup are not going to be missed. There has been an over-involvement in the material world and a complete lack of understanding of the non-physical world that exists all around you. So there will be a reprioritizing of what comes first in life. People will stand up once they have lost everything. Who had never thought of standing up when they owned everything? People will awaken into the incredible potential of themselves. In the next few years, a connectedness and communal cooperation will begin to run through this country so that you will stop separating yourselves with respect to political ideology. That separation was designed. Whenever a people are separated and they focus on what they do not have in common or label themselves different from others, it is a perfect disguise to keep them from discovering what they do have in common. This separation keeps people from banding together and becoming very strong. Much of the political maneuvering going on, particularly in the United States, is purposely designed to separate you. Look at the new age. Do you see how the new age is separated? All kinds of things are said to keep you from discovering what you have in common. When people discover this, they'll begin to get angry. As more and more of the methods of control and separation are revealed to you, the anger will build in the United States. Events will occur that may look as if the country is falling apart, yet they will serve the purpose of bringing people together. A new pride and a new sense of integrity will come about because this is what is designed for the times. The material realm is one that everyone relates to. Life in the United States translates into how much money you have in your pocket and how much money the government wants out of what you have in your pocket. taxes will be the issue that will create both the greatest amount of havoc in the United States and the greatest amount of unification, because you all have taxes in common. You may not worship the same God, but you all pay taxes. In a clever move, the Middle East crisis allowed the government to have what it wanted without going through the problem of asking your permission for a tax raise on gasoline. You see how clever these things are. With a few more taxes piled on top of one another, people will begin to examine the quality of their lives. You will see a lot of anger in this country because many people will feel powerless. Anger is one of the first emotions that will occur when people finally understand the manipulation that has been going on and begin to get in touch with their feelings. Modern technology is one of the biggest weapons of frequency control. You have been sold devices for entertainment and convenience, and they are all involved. They are all involved with frequency control. We recommend strongly that you get rid of your television sets. They are the primary tool used to manipulate your consciousness on a day-to-day basis. This experiment is so finely tuned that you respond subliminally to disease via the television. So there is an entire generation that is killing itself by watching TV and supporting the medical society with what they are doing. Sometimes liberating information is broadcast, perhaps even a new age show. However, you may watch such a television show about how uplifted and unlimited you can be, while subliminally you are being hit with a frequency that keeps you from original thinking. This subliminal keeps you immobilized and holds you in a survive, arrive, be on time, be silent, go to work society. Television also promotes inactivity and a sedentary, obese life. Look around you, wake up, humans. Most of the subliminals on television are done through technology that was developed in conjunction with off-planetary beings. The use of subliminals to upset human consciousness has become a worldwide program. If you think about the houses that have 2, 3, and 4 televisions in them, you must agree that this has been a very successful marketing program. Some people who know about the subliminals on television feel that they're immune to them. However, the effects of television are so permeating that no matter how clear you say you are going to be, you cannot counterbalance what the technology is presently doing to your vibrational frequency. We have said that there are entities who feed off your emotional bodies. Think about what a clever tool television is for them. All over the world, billions of humans are emitting emotional juices into the atmosphere based upon what they are watching on the tube. They don't have to have too many wars anymore to get you all riled up. You can simply make movies. Or they can simply make movies. People who need to watch television are not tapping into the wealth of information in their own minds and immediately accessible all around them. As a matter of fact, if you really want to evolve, do not read your newspapers, do not listen to the radio, and do not watch television. If you're able to be media free for periods of time and you disengage yourself from the frequency of chaos and anxiety and stress and hustle, bustle, and temptations of all kinds that you don't need, you begin to get clear. You begin to listen to what is going on inside of yourself and to live in the world and not necessarily be lost in it. You become clear. We cannot emphasize this enough. Electronics also jam your frequency. Even when they are not specifically designed to jam your frequency, sometimes there is incompatibility between the electronic frequency of something and yourself. Plus, as we said, many of them are designed to create static so that you will always stay in a certain vibratory rate, turning you into safe, harmless, inactive, productive cattle. Oh my God. Cattle? Cattle. What about computers? The second most predominant piece of hardware in the United States is the computer. How many of you go to work on computers and end up getting headaches, particularly when you work for large corporations and are hooked on their mainframe? Large companies are into aspects of mind control. They use your minds to generate energy to achieve something for themselves. Personal computers are not as potent and powerful. Some new inventions are going to surface in the 90s, very underground inventions, because they will never be given patents to be promoted in the marketplace. There will be a whole underground economy based on barter in which certain inventions will be traded between people. There will be technologies that can counteract much of the frequency control. These technologies can change the quality of your air and water, and they can eliminate and seal off your home so that you are an integral of energy and nothing can bombard you. There are technologies that do phenomenal things. Do you understand how technology has been used against you? It has not been used for you. Television is not necessarily bad in itself, but it has been put to ill use. There's nothing wrong with technology. It is how technology is being used that is the bottom line. That is the difference. Excuse me. The education system is another area where you are controlled. Most of what you're taught is malarkey. You work hard, take loans out, and pay money to learn something that is antiquated before you can even set foot in the door, particularly in the realms of scientific, mathematical, psychological, and medical exploration. What do you do when you live in a society that rewards you for degrees? You begin by saying, I believe that I formulate my world. I believe that I do not need these credentials to define my existence. I can be unique unto myself, sovereign unto myself. Come up with a method or way to explore the world without degrees. Education is actually the pursuit of knowledge, and knowledge can come from a walk in the desert. It does not have to come from flipping pages in a book. It is not harmful to explore a little bit of schooling, but don't buy into the idea that what you are being taught is correct. You are controlled and separated by issues that strike at the core of your emotions. The abortion pro-life issue is not a global issue, it is a national issue. Sometimes it does look as if innocent victims are trampled and stampeded by events that seemingly have nothing to do with them. Of course, that is what you have been taught, that you are powerless and can only be saved by the mood of the gods, which has never been the case. Those who find their lives taken by accident or violence select it. The pro-life abortion issue has been purposely orchestrated in the United States by different factions within the government to create a lack of harmony. Wow. Divide and conquer, and you own the people. All the people, choice, freedom, and the ability to continuously improve their lives. Allow the people choice, freedom, and the ability to continuously improve their lives, and you cannot own them. Whenever people oppose people, those in control benefit, even down to the issue over abortion. How do they benefit? They keep women from uniting with each other and men from uniting with each other here in the United States. They keep people in fear. They convince you continuously, putting these issues before you, that a woman has no control over the birthing process of her body. You don't need abortion. You never need to get pregnant in the first place if you don't desire it. How? By will. A woman can say to herself, I'm not prepared at this time for a child, or alternately, I am in receptivity of a child. When you own yourself, you will not need permission from the government about what you can do with your own body. Violence in the streets of major cities is another subtle means of control. The big cities of the United States, Los Angeles, New York City, Washington, D.C., and so on, are energy buckets or holes where energy comes into the North American continent, or has up until now. This is really interesting stuff, eh? I don't know, boy. Makes you think a little bit. Energy holes. There has been an increase in violence in these cities because it is known that if unrest can be kept brewing and reported, it can be a likely vehicle for manipulating the entire nation. These things are purposely set into motion on the physical level and assisted on the etheric level because the more fear that is generated, the more those in charge can feed on it. When a woman goes out with her family and is assaulted, and her young son is a seemingly innocent victim, fights the assailant and goes down by knife and dies totally unexpectedly on his vacation, the fear that is promoted throughout multitudes of people feeds many. The fear that the war in the Middle East brought about was phenomenal. You have been raped of your life force. If there is anything that you as members of the human species have in common, it is that you have been raped of your emotions. Others have played your emotions as though they were instruments, and they have never let you know the power you have with your emotions. Hmm. I have been thinking what I said before when I said like, so you can still have feelings even if you're out of duality, but maybe you don't really want to have those negative feelings because it feeds negative entities. Now I have to rethink this whole thing and see what my understanding comes to. Always, this whole story comes back to emotions. Emotions are like tickets that can get you places and plug you in. You are incredibly rich. If you would only realize how wealthy you are with your emotions, the lower vibratory beings, if we may be so bold as to call them that, exist of emotions in a very small range of frequency. Emotions that are based on fear, chaos, and violence. The ability to use the human will over the ability to use the human will over the human mind is your ultimate resource. This ability to master the body according to your will is exactly what the people in charge of the planet do not want you to figure out. As more of you become sovereign and in charge of your own frequency, those who do not want the new frequency here will bring on opposite frequency to create chaos, confusion, and polarity. Always, whenever a society is on the verge of a huge leap or change, there are diametrically opposed activities. Always look at an issue from the perspective of the bigger picture so that you have neutrality with it. So you should have neutrality then. For the picture gets bigger and bigger all the time. The planet is headed for a major confrontation with certain entities. We are simply pointing this out. We are not here to promote fear. Fear is what the other team wants you to feel. We want you to understand that you can change anything you want to change. This is going to be a game of numbers in the future because you will work together to bring yourselves to a place of empowerment. We are asking humans to come into full function as members of the family of light by imaging and energizing the pillar of light and pulling it inside the body. Command it. Make it your intention every day to operate with a cordon of light. For light frequency connects you and fills you with protection and information. Feel it move around the base of your spine, down your body, and into the earth, as well as coming out of your solar plexus area like a fountain and forming a golden shield of light around you. As you use the solar plexus area to determine what is going on, you will learn discernment through feelings. Earth's owners have not wanted humans to understand that their feelings and emotions are like a crop, such as wheat that can be harvested. If you are in charge of your own harvest, then others cannot take advantage of you and use you unless you decree it. When you operate with a certain frequency and sovereignty, those who wish to control you are not interested in you. They want a fearful, chaotic frequency, which is what nourishes them. Fear and chaos have predominated on this planet because these entities have stirred them up. They have divided and conquered everywhere to create that frequency. When you operate in peace and love and with information, you alter the structure of this place drastically. You bring choice of frequency back to the planet. And that is the end of chapter 8. 9. Profound new boundaries. I don't know. Do you think we should read 9? Or do you think it's too much information? Let's see how far we could go with 9. Profound new boundaries. Since you are a frequency controlled society, the ability of humanity to create technologies has been limited. In a less controlled society that has greater outreach or travel capabilities to space and greater interchange between systems, technological advances are quite astounding and uplifting. Many gifts and influences from outside this planet have been hushed up. Some information has, of course, been given to the planet in many different ways, and the resulting technologies have brought about great changes in the lifestyle. One of the changes in lifestyle that occurred during the century was the introduction of movies. A whole new way of influence and thought was brought to the planet by the film industry. Just as there are movie in just as there is a movie industry on this planet, there are those in space who have a holographic industry. They make holographic inserts, dramas that look just like they are real, and insert them through portals in your reality. Since these space beings have been around for hundreds of thousands of years and humanity's frequencies have been controlled, it is quite easy to hoodwink human beings. Holographic inserts have been used on Earth to manipulate and control consciousness and to change the story of information to one of disinformation, one of a limited amount of knowledge. As we see it, those who use the holographic inserts are not always after bringing light or information or upliftment to people. They have ulterior motives, although they may pass them off as light. Holographic experiences, especially viewings in the sky, are set up to influence a large group of people at once. Many, though not all, UFO sightings have been holographic inserts. There have been holographic inserts of one individual designed in many fashions, projected simultaneously in many different cultures. That is why some of Earth's religion stories are parallel from one corner of the world to another when there is no physical contact, when there was no physical contact. Holographic inserts look exactly like 3D reality. They are creations of events manufactured and inserted in your reality to look as if they are part of a sequential action. They are used to influence the mind of the observers, and they are very difficult to recognize. You will have plenty of practice in the next number of years when, in the Middle East and other areas around this planet, a lot of extraterrestrial activities comes into full force and begin to be published. Some of the grand events will be very legitimate, and some of them will be inserts designed to make the consciousness of humanity toward the one world order to be controlled. Holographic inserts have energy fields and can be doused. Dowsing rods move differently in them because their energy fields are diverse and vibrate at an incredible rate. You can walk into them and participate in them. People may be part of them and swear they are real, but they are orchestrated events designed to influence the minds of humans. Holographic inserts are not done for information, they are done for control. They are simply an aspect of technology that exists. Realities can be constructed and inserted just like movies. Movies, television, and so on are your version of creating reality. There are other very evolved beings who cleverly create reality so real that you can't tell the difference. They are like beams, just like spotlights are projected into the night, holographic inserts are projected onto the planet through the portals. Tremendous energy is needed because the process involves the merging of dimensions. The technology does not exist in the third dimension, it exists in other dimensions, and they need the dimensional fusions. What is the difference between dimensions? Why is one dimension important to another? Because each dimension has a different vibratory rate or way the molecules move. These holographic inserts need places where the dimensions are already merged because they need to play through the other dimensions in order to enter here. Humanity has been blind and hoodwinked over and over again because of the unevolved helixes that information could not plug into. The family of light has come to change all of that. You are here to carry a new frequency on the planet and hold it in your bodies so the rest of the planet can begin to vibrate at the same frequency. That frequency is going to create disruption of the structures based on two-stranded DNA on this planet. It cannot help it. It is time to evolve. Earth is ready to move through whatever is necessary for that evolution. Well, yes. Let me change my leg here. Okay. Human beings must learn to read energies. They must learn to use more than the senses of their eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and so on to perceive reality. We have said that the eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and sense of touch are deceivers of reality. They lock reality. You think you are perceiving reality with these senses, when in actuality they limit your perceptions of reality. You have been trained since you were a child to rely on your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and sense of touch to interpret experience. Now you're going to need to rely on other forms of sensing to determine experience. One of the forms you have discounted is feeling. Feeling, your knowing, intuitive, psychic self has been jammed by frequency control on this planet so that none of you have been able to find it. If you found your own knowledge and your own way of intuiting, you could not be controlled. How do you know what is controlled and what is not controlled? Part of your experience here is to learn that, to get into a little hot water and to know when to jump out. In the deepest core of your being, there is an integrity you can discover and begin to operate with. It is an integrity that honors life and honors yourself first and foremost as the life that you are in charge of. You are in charge of you. And it has been gifted and granted to you that you honor your light, your body, and your experience to the best of your ability. As you begin to take good care of your integrity and to cultivate it and discover the miracle and potentials of it, you will discover that your body, which seemingly has been somewhat of a burden that you have been carting around, is really invaluable. It brings you untold wealth. With the physical body, you are millionaires. You must learn to use your feeling center and to activate and act on the information inside of you. You must learn to trust it. You, as members of the family of light, are intending to merge dimensions. Your task is to pull other dimensions into this reality, to have your nervous system handle the different molecular fluctuations, and to be able to make it okay. You are learning to perceive through your feeling centers and to teach others how to do all that you can do. You are the way showers. You will recognize holographic inserts by feeling. They won't feel right. Something will feel fishy or strange. When holographic inserts are put into your reality, something is not right. As members of the family of light, your coatings and filaments will not feel good if you are exposed to holographic inserts because they are used to control you rather than bring you upliftment. They're used to ride your emotions to a certain point so others can feed off them and to bring you to a certain new level of operation. These technologies will be used more in the next decade, and that is why we say that humanity is in for a drastic awakening. As far as what is really real, the boundaries of reality are quite profound. Oh, I think I'm going to stop here. I'm going to pick up on this tomorrow in chapter 9. I'm on page 100. That's so cool. Let me see. So that was a really interesting read about our emotions are controlled and how we will start listening to our intuition instead of our regular senses. Yeah. So we'll see. So neutrality appears to be good because you don't want to have negative emotions, it looks like, because entities feeding off of those is what this book is saying. I don't know yet if I fully agree, because I feel like the full human existence has to do with feeling all aspects of the emotions. So I don't know if that connects with me just yet. I don't know. I have to think about it. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great evening, a wonderful weekend, that you know you are loved and that you know you are loved, and that you have beautiful experiences that are just perfect for your own growth and understanding of self. Yeah. Anyways, have a good day, loves. I will see you at the next episode of Coco in the Sun podcast.